And so I realized that at that time there was this dimension, such as Dr. Greer has talked about. There are levels of classification that are way beyond people in the Congress, way beyond us as civilians. But I spent a lot of time looking into this whole process. And as you know, I was the one that filed the original Iran-Contra case that got the special prosecutor appointed. We uncovered all the smuggling of the weapons that were going on, the cocaine smuggling operations that were going on. It became clear to me that everybody knew about this, that all kinds of people knew about this going on, but the citizens didn't. And as I tried to bring information to some people in Congress and the Senate, et cetera, talked with Tip O'Neill about all of this, and as I discovered all this stuff was going on, I was then later contacted by Dr. John Mack, as I told you, to represent him. And I was aware of the fact that there was this realm of ultimate secrecy that existed. But I realized that there was a classification above everything that I'd ever seen that was cosmic top secret. There's a whole category of cosmic top secret that has to do with this particular category. And that there's information in there about contacts with these beings that were recovered from Roswell, a living being, one particular living being that they brought to Wright-Patterson, that they didn't know what to do with the being. They didn't know how to take care of the being. They had to keep the being isolated. They were afraid of potential contamination. And I was challenged at that point to try to determine whether or not I would reveal these things to everyone. I kept trying to have contact with people inside the intelligence community to say, look, if there's something that you think I ought to know that would convince me that the American people somehow shouldn't know about this, tell me about it, will you? Because if you're not going to tell me about it, I can tell you I'm going after it. And I'm going to be going after it in a context that may make it automatically available to anybody once I get it. And only a couple times was I ever approached and said to stay away from these things. Well, that's not an answer, just to stay away from it. And so what I've done is I'm just coming to you today to tell you that with my experience directly as one of the attorneys in the Pentagon Papers case, I was in F. Lee Bailey's office when we did the Watergate burglary. It was our office that got McCord to write the letter to Judge Sirica, blowing the whistle on the Watergate plumbers. The Karen Silkwood case with the smuggling of the plutonium, the Iran-Contra case with all of the smuggling of cocaine that was going on. So, but nothing matches this issue. Nothing comes close to matching this issue, because the reality of it is that because whatever this extraterrestrial intelligence is, they obviously share the belief that somehow we shouldn't be just told right straight outright. As people have said, why don't they land on the White House lawn and just tell us? So there is obviously some type of consensus that exists at the highest levels of the security, the cosmic top secret clearance in our government. And when I asked Gorbachev about this, because I was legal counsel to the State of the World Forum for Gorbachev and Senator Baker at the end of the Cold War, he told me flat out that these things existed, and that they'd known that these existed, and they were in communication with the United States government about this. So what I'm saying is that we need to, as citizens, be insistent upon finding out about this unless and until somebody communicates information to us that makes sense as to why it is that people all shouldn't know about this. And they haven't told me that yet. And so until they do, I'm going to continue to try to find out everything I can about it and share it with people who've had the kind of responsible positions that you have had in your lives and still have in your lives. Because the reality is you still have political capital. Whether you're 87 years old or 39 years old or whatever your ages are now, that you still have political capital that can effectuate a change. And that for you to go collectively to sit down with certain members of Congress or certain people together to say, look, this is what we know and we want to act responsibly. Can you please help us act responsibly? But we're going to act in any event. And that's how you will find out, I believe.